brutal.
Literally just one way to explain the man behind the moon. Like, for real, get that to your fat ass fucking head. But I still need to, like, build that brotherhood for the world. And I'm fucking, my grandma's gonna die soon. Hell yeah. Bye, grandma. She lives in Bolivia,
And then he says, let me know when we can call again. And then he starts talking about his grandma in Bolivia.
Thinking about over the summer, because I'm having a family reunion in, like, July in Bolivia for, like, the Ramirez, which is my grandma's side of the family. And so I might go to Bolivia for, like, 2 months, which would be sick as fuck. And I don't even know if I want to bring, like, y'all and Devin with me, or, like, whoever else I can, like, recruit into my cult by then. Also, I still have, like, that urge to show reverence, but I feel like I can say whatever I want, but saying, like, hell yeah, bye, grandma, I don't know about that. Like, God's real.
He says, honestly, I should be more deliberate about throwing ideas like that out. It feels like it destroys trust to be so flippant, kind of how it was at the beginning of the year.
I don't think there's anything wrong with flippancy. It's like the more you can update our models to include whatever your models are considered, the more we can understand whatever's going on in your head lifetime, the more updates you give, the more we're capable of understanding all the different little outlines that you think about. Like, anything that goes through your head is useful in mapping out the larger model. Even if you change your mind later, that's not a big deal at all. As far as going to Bolivia, I'd absolutely be down to do it. However, probably not a great idea just on the face of your parents, not your parents, your entire family despising me. I'm not a good family guy. Something about the destruction more.
Yeah. He says, yeah, honestly, I've never met any of them except my grandma. It just sounds really cool. Anime montage. That's so gay and worded terribly. I said, I wonder a lot about the relationship between exposing as much about myself as I possibly can to increase the amount of people who can relate to me / trust me, and potentially exposing so much about myself that I alienate potential audiences from wanting to view me. Never been sure where I fall on that. And then he said something, and I said, appreciating what you are not is always the first step in becoming what you need to be.
Very, very true. We have to be cool enough to get assassinated first. But also, getting assassinated is not my concern. It's more, like, so for instance, like I watch, a large portion of the population does. I watch, like serial killer breakdown, and I find it interesting to the degree that my psychology, like there's certain aspects of the serial killer psychology which are relatable. Now, I'm sure that's not, that rare of a thought, considering, hundreds of thousands to millions of people depending on the video consume the content. I'm sure they're finding something similar, which is that it's fascinating to analyze the serial killers and to wonder how far are they from yourself, really. And like Jordan Peterson said, if you think you would have been a Nazi, then you probably don't know yourself or humanity that well. It all depends on circumstances. And same thing with serial killer. What would it have taken for me to break? And do I think that the serial killer is justified? It's an interesting thing to analyze. But then, this is a small scale version of this, but it's just like, to what degree do you want to publicly align with serial killer? Because even if it's a thought that a lot of the population has, even if breaking down your similarities to the serial killer psychologically could potentially make someone who is like on the edge of doing something horrible understand themselves better and not do that. If you could make other people understand that you as a completely normal, well-adjusted person could have psychologically been skewed into being something like that, then people who are closer down that path, closer to making a horrific mistake, may understand that they have the ability to be normal if they can get closer to you, if they can adjust their mindset. So I mean, it can be potentially beneficial for large portions of the audience, but then in the same capacity, it can also damage your ability to reach out to certain audiences. Obviously, there are lots of like boomers or like political spaces where it's not acceptable to talk about anything like that. Like, I mean, obviously, I don't ever plan on running for office, but if I was, then ever analyzing yourself in respect to killer is not not acceptable. And there are lots of other things like that. They're just like even the thing we talked about the other day, slurs. It's like I 100% do not believe that there's anything wrong with slurs. But it's like coming out and saying that even if I don't say a slur is very socially frowned upon. I mean, it can cost us money through advertisements. Although I doubt, but much more likely and much more possibly, it costs us viewers who are so bought into the opposite of that perspective that they just won't view you now. So it's weird. On one hand, I would love to just expose myself fully, literally like completely, like never hide anything about my psychology at all, and expose everything, even the points where I think I'm incorrect, just to see what people say about them. But on the other hand, we don't live in a world where people can forgive and forget as you learn. So interesting dichotomy. Yeah, well, I think that the meaning attached to the slurs is meaningful. Like, as white people, we just shouldn't say the N-word. So I'm still not convinced the slurs are harmless, honestly. But when I started reading Aristotle's Bodies and Rhetoric, they noticed that they mentioned that like Aristotle had like his private writings for like his group of people, his like little cult, and then he had the writings that he distributed to the public, and like the public thing. So you gotta like life is like a game of manipulation to an extent. I think. I think also like you should like I was talking to my dad about it, like about my Instagram and whether I should keep it public, because like I don't know, my dad's like I don't want to talk about it too much, but like my family, some parts of people in my family have been pretty like prominent figures in different areas, and so like when you get on like you
I
are really
wonder
ambitious,
what that means.
not necessarily as like the world stage, or not necessarily will ever get there, but like if you ever want to be a prominent person, like your past and your footprint matters. Like when you get to big places, they'll look. Also, I feel like someone who's about to be like a serial killer, they wouldn't care, because I feel like it's like overcoming morality, like, and then you can decide what you want to do. Like I've gotten kind of close. Not to when I was psychotic, I was just like downright evil. Or I wasn't downright what would be normally considered evil thoughts. Some of it was because my perspective was hella skewed. Like I was just delusional and I thought good was evil and evil was good. But like I think that someone who decided to do that, it's like a decision to like go to war against society. So that's how it is, which is very freeing. I feel like that's kind of how a lot of like gangbangers are. Kind of like you have like a sovereign group of people or like your own club, and everyone outside of that is just enemy territory. Like how it used to be. Like you used to just kill other tribes and shit. There was other animals. I think I don't fucking know. It's like a massive oversimplification. But I think that's kind of what serial killers think. Like they just become sovereigns and don't like follow the social rules anymore. Same thing with like rapists and stuff. Just like that's just like criminal behavior. And I feel like it's more so like free will. But like it's probably like super subjective to things that made you like disillusioned with society, and then with that disillusionment, I feel like when you're hurt, you have the decision to either like take that. And like I think about it often. Like I think about whether there's something fundamentally true about being a good person. Because like if the vast majority or everybody is like just living for selfish reasons, like or stepping on people, is that any different from stepping on ants? I think about that a lot. But every time I kind of do evil things, I generally regret it. And also, I will bring you good fortune. And also, like if you choose to be a bad person, you really are going to war against this. Well, the answer there is multifold. The thing is, there are no good people. Everyone is entirely motivated by their own desire. But then also, it does not mean that you should not do good things. Good things are good because they are good, not because they are inherently good people, right? It's not like good people are just the people who have the framework that make it where they are emotionally rewarded when they do actions that would map onto what you consider good. So if you think, petting a puppy is good, and then you see one person who sees a puppy and they walk over and they pet it, that's a good person. And you see another person who sees a puppy and they walk over and they bash it with a hammer and then they skin it and then they put it in a pot and they boil it and then they skin the meat off the bones and then they serve them to their family's dinner. And you go, hey, that's a bad person. They just killed a puppy. And in all honesty, there's absolutely no difference between that person skinning that puppy and you skinning a cow you're fucking eating with your dinner. It's absolutely retarded to think that there is. So it's not that there's one who's good and there's one who's bad. It's that there are different people who have different cultural influences, and those cultural influences decide the decisions they make. And then there are decisions that are better and worse, not really good or bad. It's every single time your mind has the desire to think of something as a binary, like good and bad, black and white, don't, and think of it as a gradient, like hot and cold. There's a very small median right in the middle between hot and cold that's comfortable. It's not that hot is cold, it's not that hot is good or that cold is good. It's that hot and cold are the two extremes, and you can have the right amount of both, and that is good. And that's what everything's like. Good actions are good because they are beneficial to you and the other person. And the reason why you want the other person to benefit is because you can enter a relationship with other people to achieve grander things. So it's like the point of society is not just be good because being good is good. That leads to flawed thinking. That leads to issues in thinking that Christians would have, where they would say, well, it's good to be nice to my family, but if someone in my family is gay, then I should shun them and I should treat them as if they're an evil person, right? The reason they thought that was because they thought that good and bad were independent of what was most beneficial for them in their relationships. When you understand that the point of society is only to maximize your own outcomes. So if my desire is to, eat the best soup, right? Well, then I can try to eat the best soup, and I can kill everyone who gets in my way eating the soup. But then what's going to happen is someone else is going to kill me because I killed a bunch of people trying to make the best soup. I'd be much better off making deals with everybody. I'd be much better off going to the person whose goal is to grow the best onion, and the person who is to hunt the best, and the person who, farms, makes bread, whatever fucking other task you were thinking of. I'm better off employing multiple different people who specialize in multiple different areas and having us all come together to achieve my goal of making the best soup. And that's the point of society. It's to have everyone have their individual goals be achieved, and that is good. And it's not good because it's good, because good is black and white, it's good as binary, and that's good, and then non-societies are bad. It's just because there is a beneficial outcome. It's all about outcomes, it's all about efficiency. Yeah, that's what so that's what I thought. I mean, that's what I believe. It's just I feel like I've been around dumb Christians, and it's fucked up my brain.